All right, let's talk Lego, and specifically Lego prices. I mean, it's no secret, Lego is an expensive hobby, and it seems like the prices just keep going up. You may have heard that in 2025, it's rumored that we'll be getting a $1,000 Death Star set. That's the most expensive set Lego has ever released. And it's making a lot of people, myself included, ask the question, what's going on with Lego pricing? These days, a lot of the sets that get released cost as much or more than a gaming console. And with so many alternative or competing brick companies available, what should you do with your money? I mean, doesn't it seem like Lego was so much more affordable when we were kids? Like when I was asking for a set for Christmas, it seemed like it wasn't that big of an ask. But nowadays, even smaller sets feel like they're getting really pricey. So I decided to do a little digging into Lego pricing. Why Lego costs as much as it does, how it compares to competitors' prices, and have the prices actually been increasing? And I'll be honest, the answers really surprised me. I know the title of this video, The Shocking Truth, is a little clickbaity, but honestly, I really think this is gonna be very cool for you to learn about because it blew me away. So in today's video, we're gonna look at Lego pricing. Why does it cost so much? How does it compare to its competitors? And what has Lego prices been doing over the last few decades? Now, before we dive in, I just have to say, I know that I'm a Lego ambassador. Let's just get that out there. But Lego ambassadors like myself are under no obligation to only speak well of the Lego group. When they send us sets to do reviews, we can tell the truth if we don't like the set, which I have done before. We are not employees of the Lego group, and we are allowed to give our full and honest opinions about anything, including Lego. So that's what I'm gonna do with you today. These are my full, true, honest opinions and all the real hard data and evidence that I found about pricing. So with that said, let's dive in and take a look at if Lego is actually worth the cost or if it's maybe time to rethink that next big purchase. Okay, so right off the bat, it has to just be acknowledged, Lego is a premium product. It just is. It's a premium product and a premium brand. I think the psychological problem that people have with Lego being expensive is that it's a premium toy product. And generally, we like to think that toys should be very affordable and accessible so all these kids can play with them. But we are okay with premium products in almost every other category. I mean, people pay a premium for electronics, for cars, for purses, heck, even for premium water bottles these days. And in just like all of those other categories, there are cheaper alternatives if you want a cheaper brick building toy. But that's not really what we're asking. What we're asking today is Lego worth the price that it costs? As a premium product, I feel like it comes with a lot of benefits. And there are a lot of reasons why Lego costs what it does that go unseen that you may not know about. So first, let's talk about quality control. Lego is actually really well known in the plastics industry for having some of the highest quality control standards in the world. Lego is super picky about the quality of their plastics, about where they source the plastics, about the process of making them. There's a whole documentary about Lego's plastic making process that actually goes really in depth. But just suffice it to say, the Lego plastic that you get is not the same generic cheap plastic that you get from a lot of their competitors. And not only is the plastic itself super high quality control, but the molds and the shapes of the plastic are insanely regulated. In fact, when Lego is molding their bricks, they allow for only a 0.0002 millimeter margin of error. That's a tighter margin than the majority of aerospace engineering parts. This is why clutch power, or the ability of studs to stick together, is really high and really consistent across all of the Lego bricks, whereas with some other cheaper bricks, it's really hit or miss. So because Lego is so picky about their plastics and the quality control of their molding, that obviously increases the price of production and therefore the cost of the product. Reason number two that Lego is a premium product and gets a premium price tag has to do with the Lego Group's commitment to renewable energy and resources. The Lego Group is a very progressive group and has been since its founding, and they really care about the earth and the climate and using renewable resources, which is a really hard thing to do when you're a company whose number one product is plastic. So Lego has been investing for decades in trying to make sure that they are more environmentally friendly. In fact, for the last 8 years, the Lego Group has been operating off 100% renewable energy thanks to these efforts. And the new plant that they built in the United States for manufacturing is 100% carbon neutral. That's a really big deal. But not only do they care about renewable energy, but also renewable resources. In 2024, about a quarter of the bricks were actually made using recycled and renewable plastics. One way that Lego is doing this is by using renewable plastics for all of their plant-based products, which, is clever little green marketing for you. But renewable energy and recycled materials comes at a cost. Industry insiders say that Lego pays a 70% premium for the recycled resin used in these products. So Lego spends a lot more money on both energy and resources in order to be more environmentally friendly. Now, the third thing that sometimes drives up Lego cost is licensing fees. If you're familiar with the history of the Lego Group, you're probably aware that during the 90s, the Lego Group was in a really bad financial position. In fact, they were pretty close to bankruptcy. And many people credit the Lego Group's turnaround into becoming one of the largest and most profitable toy companies in the world to their collaboration collaboration with Star Wars and then Harry Potter. These licensed sets were incredibly successful and helped bring the LEGO company back from the brink of bankruptcy. Nowadays, LEGO has licenses with a huge number of different IPs. Of course, we've got the big ones still like Star Wars and Harry Potter and Marvel, but with the LEGO Ideas series, we get an even bigger lineup with things like Jurassic Park and Hocus Pocus and Nightmare Before Christmas. And actually, very soon we're going to be getting the Twilight Cullen House, and later this year we're getting Bluey. LEGO knows that licensing popular IPs is a really great way to keep customers coming back. But licensing is expensive. Although we don't know the exact numbers behind these licensing deals, typically we expect that a licensed product costs around 20% more than a non-licensed alternative. We also know that LEGO can pay an upfront licensing fee and also sometimes pay ongoing royalties based on the sale of the product. So of course, if LEGO is paying licensing fees to someone like Disney, that makes the set more expensive to produce and therefore more expensive to sell. But you know, all of this aside, there is so much more going on behind the scenes at the LEGO Group other than just the set that you receive in your hands. I've gotten a lot of comments online with people saying, "That's like $100 set that you bought and the plastic in it is only worth like 75 cents. You're such an idiot," you know. But it's not just the plastic that you're paying for. There's so much other stuff going on behind the scenes. First of all, LEGO has an insanely high customer satisfaction rate with incredibly responsive customer service. A lot of the other cheaper companies, which I've tried by the way, good luck getting a hold of them if you're missing bricks or need any help. Their customer service is non-existent. You're also paying for the years of research and development that goes behind so many sets and new parts and pieces that come out every single year. Sets aren't just designed by one person and then just released. They go through lots of different teams and approvals. There are people who work at the LEGO Group whose job is just to make sure that the set is structurally sound. Then there's teams who go through and make sure the instructions are clear and easy to follow. There's even people whose job it is, and this one surprised me a lot, who make sure that the pacing of a set is what they want. LEGO wants each bag you open to go from big bags and complicated sections to smaller or easier sections so that the pacing of the build has a rise and fall to it. There's so much that goes into the experience of the build other than just the design of the build itself. We also get conveniences in their manufacturing process that other companies don't provide. For example, alternate brick companies that I've tried make you assemble the entire minifigure, like down to the arms and the hands and like connecting every little piece. LEGO's manufacturing process takes care of that tedious step for you, but is therefore more expensive to produce. LEGO also in recent years is making sure that their bags are numbered very well and clearly with only one bag per number. Other companies that I've tried have like 5 or 6 bags per number, so you might have 6 bags labeled bag number 3. Or worse yet, others that I've tried have no bag numbers whatsoever. Yeah, good luck building a 3,000 piece set where no bags are numbered and you have to look through 3,000 pieces for every single piece you need. As someone who's been there, I can tell you it's a nightmare. But building the manufacturing processes to sort through all of those pieces to make sure that the right pieces go in the right bags and the right numbers takes a lot more time and effort and therefore more money. But these are all the little things that LEGO does to make the building process more convenient for us and therefore more enjoyable. And one of the last things that kind of sucks to have to talk about is that LEGO does have lawyers. LEGO pays really talented employees that they have to design beautiful sets with intricate details and ingenious building techniques. And some sets take these designers years to finalize. And then some random company in China comes along, rips off the entire design and instructions, manufactures way cheaper and lower quality bricks, and sells the exact same design. That's theft. Stealing the designs that employees at the LEGO Group worked hard on to develop, sometimes for years, is theft. And so LEGO has to pay for lawyers who go around and try to make sure that their products and their IP isn't being stolen. And so every time someone goes and buys that cheap third-party alternate knockoff product that is ripping off a design from LEGO, you are actually contributing to the reason that LEGO costs more, because LEGO is having to go around and pay lawyers to defend their intellectual property. So with all this said, we've got the quality of the bricks, we've got the renewable energy and resources, we've got licensing fees, we've got a lot of behind the scenes stuff happening. There's way more to LEGO than just the plastic that you receive in the box. But the question, is LEGO worth it, remains unanswered because it's a subjective question. For some people, a company that cares about the environment, a company that puts in a lot of thought and effort into making the build process more convenient, who pays their employees really well, those things might matter to some people and not matter at all to someone else. Which is why maybe the question, is LEGO too expensive, is the wrong question. It's really hard to measure something subjectively like that. I mean, is Apple too expensive? Is Stanley too expensive? These are all premium products that people pay for every day. Instead, let's look at the question, has LEGO been getting more expensive in recent years? Now, a lot of people, myself included, feel like when they were kids, LEGO was a bit cheaper. I remember asking for some sets for Christmas that were like massive sets and not feeling like I was asking for too much. But some of these bigger sets today are crazy expensive. So how much more expensive has LEGO actually gotten in recent years? years. In general, in the LEGO collecting world, one really basic and simple method that we use to judge a set's value is price per piece. It's really easy because piece count and price are right up front on the box. So you just take the price, divide it by the number of pieces, and you get your price per piece count. Typically for LEGO set, we look to be under the 10-cent per piece average. The problem is that price per piece has wide fluctuations. For example, you might get a Jurassic World set where the price is way higher. That's because this dinosaur here counts as one piece. So for example, in the set T-Rex Dinosaur Breakout, it had 149 pieces but retailed for $50. So its price per piece count was over 30 cents per piece. On the other hand, we get sets like the World Map. The World Map had over 11,500 pieces for $200, so its price per piece count was less than 2 cents per piece. But to be fair, that's because 90% of the pieces in this set were 1x1 studs. So even though they both count as one piece, there's a lot more plastic, manufacturing, and cost that goes into this piece than this piece. In fact, our friends over at bricknerd.com did the math and figured out that price per piece count is only about 65% accurate to predict the value of a set. There's just too many wide fluctuations. A much better measure that they found is price per gram. They say that it's 95% accurate in predicting value rather than 65% with price per piece. So with that in mind, we're gonna look at the price per gram of some LEGO sets throughout the decades to see if LEGO has actually been getting more expensive or what else might be happening. And because I want to make sure I'm being accurate with this, I will be reading the numbers right in front of me. So let's start in the 90s, my era. In 1996, LEGO released the Model Team Giant Truck. This truck had 1,757 pieces and retailed for $139. Adjusted for inflation though, that price would be $278 today, which would give us a price per piece average of 15 cents per piece if this set were on shelves in 2025. So that's interesting that the price per piece is higher than the 10-cent average that we look for today. But again, price per piece isn't always accurate, so let's go to price per gram. This set weighed 2,680 grams, so its price per gram comes in at about 10 cents. Now let's keep that number in mind as we compare it to the rest moving forward. Let's jump back another decade to the 80s. In 1989, we saw the release of Black Seas Barracuda, a super popular set that was actually revamped a few years ago. This set had 865 pieces and retailed for $109. Adjusted for inflation, in 2025, this set would have retailed for $268. Now, that's a price per piece of 30 cents today, which is on par with our outlier Jurassic Park pricing. But again, we're gonna look at price per gram instead. This set weighed 2,862 grams, so its price per gram comes in at 9 cents, which is pretty close to the 10 cent per gram we saw of the Model Team Giant Truck. Okay, now let's go one decade even farther back to one of the ultimate classic LEGO sets. Set number 375-2, Castle, affectionately today referred to as the Yellow Castle. This set released in 1978. It had 779 pieces and retailed for $49. Adjusted for inflation, this set would cost $242 today, which means that our price per piece is 31 cents per piece. But price per gram is what we're really paying attention to. This set weighed 1,250 grams, giving us a price per gram of 19 cents. So when someone says sets in my day were so much cheaper, this is what we're comparing to. Sets from the 90s, 80s, and 70s. So let's see how they match up with comparable sets today. To compare with the Model Team Giant Truck, I found a similarly sized car, the Porsche 911. This set has 1,458 pieces and costs $170. So its price per piece is 11 cents, just barely over what we'd expect to see on average today. But it weighs 1,979 grams, giving us a price per gram of 8 cents per gram, which is already lower than all of the sets that we saw in the past. To compare to the Black Seas Barracuda, let's look at the 3-in-1 pirate ship, set 31109. This set costs $120 and has 1,264 pieces, giving us a price per piece of 9 cents. Pretty close to average. But it weighs 2,040 grams, giving us a price per gram of 5 cents per gram, keeping in mind that the Black Seas Barracuda had an average of 9 cents per gram. So this one is almost half. Finally, to compare to the Yellow Castle, I have selected the 3-in-1 Medieval Castle, set 31120. This set costs $99 and has 1,426 pieces, giving us a price per piece of just 6 cents, well below our average. In weight though, it's 2,280 grams, which gives us a price per gram of 4 cents. Remember, the Yellow Castle's price per gram was 19 cents per gram. So not only in price per piece, which we know isn't the most accurate, but also in price per grams, which is 95% predictive of value. All of these sets that have been released in the last couple of years come in at a better value than their counterparts from the 90s, 80s, and 70s. You know what though? Just for fun, let's take a look at that outlier. Let's go back to that Jurassic World set. That set cost $50 and has 149 pieces in it, which gives us a price per piece of 33 cents. We know that this is already a crazy outlier in today's price per piece standards, but it's actually very close to the price per piece from the Black Seas Barracuda and the Yellow Castle, which had a price per piece of 30 and 31 cents respectively. But I got curious if this outlier piece with all of the plastic in there would make the price per gram more accurate, because this is a heavy piece. Turns out the weight of the Jurassic World T-Rex dinosaur breakout set was 625 grams, giving us a price per gram of 8 cents, which is still a better value per gram than all three of the retro sets that we examined. So while the questions, is LEGO worth it or is LEGO too expensive, are very subjective and hard to answer, the question, has LEGO gotten more expensive, has a very simple, mathematically provable answer: no, it hasn't. LEGO has actually gotten cheaper since you were a kid. And I know that that sounds crazy to believe, but by both price per piece and price per gram, even in an expensive outlier licensed set like that Jurassic Park one, LEGO is still cheaper than it used to be. And that's like mathematically proven. So if you don't like that answer, I don't know what to tell you. You don't like math or facts, I guess. And now maybe some of you are saying, okay, fine, it's cheaper today than it was decades ago, but that's true for most products. And you know what? Fair. That is true for most products. Most things are cheaper today than they were 30, 40, 50 years ago. So let's compare LEGO to one of its biggest competitors, someone who's also manufacturing products today, who has pretty good high quality standards, who has licensing with really interesting brands like Halo and Pokemon, and who's arguably LEGO's biggest competitor, Mega Bloks. Let's do the same price breakdown. I'm gonna look at the Mega Forest Pokemon Center. This looks like a cute set, and it looked like it had both a license like LEGO does and comparable building size and materials as most LEGO sets do. So the Forest Pokemon Center from Mega Bloks costs $80 and has 648 pieces, already right off the bat giving us an average of 12 cents per piece. Higher than our 10 cent per piece LEGO average, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's look at price per gram since price per piece isn't always accurate. This set weighs 762 grams, giving us a price per gram of 10 cents. Meanwhile, the LEGO sets that we examined from the past few years had a price per gram of 8 cents, 5 cents, 4 cents, and another 8 cents. So in both price per piece and price per gram, which again is 95% predictive of value, Mega Bloks is more expensive than LEGO. Again, the math doesn't lie. So what do we learn from all of this today? Is LEGO too expensive? Does it cost too much? That depends on you. For me, the answer is no. It's not too expensive, and yes, it is worth it. And I know that a lot of people will accuse me of being biased because I'm a LEGO ambassador. But guys, I have tried 5 or 6 other alternate brick companies. In fact, the last live stream I did was building a huge 2,500 piece set from an alternate brick company. And I have one horror story of building like this over 3,000 piece set that I never even finished because so many pieces were missing and the bags weren't numbered and it was just a freaking nightmare. So I have experience in building other bricks. But for me, the old adage usually holds true. You get what you pay for. If you pay a cheap price, you probably get a cheap product. And if you pay a premium price, like you do for LEGO, then you're probably getting a premium product, like LEGO. There is a reason that the word LEGO has become nearly universally synonymous with building blocks. There is a reason that by a wide margin, they are the leaders in their industry. And while honestly it bums me out a lot that not everyone in the world will be able to afford a LEGO set and be able to enjoy the building process that's brought me so much joy, I do take heart in that one last piece of LEGO's premium brand that we didn't talk about before is that LEGO is an incredibly charitable company. With all of those profits that LEGO has gotten from their premium pricing, they do so many charitable outreaches and donations. For example, in 2024 alone, LEGO donated over 1.5 million sets to kids in need through various charitable partners. The LEGO Group also donated hundreds of LEGO brick-built MRI machine models to pediatric hospitals so that doctors and nurses could help the kid patients feel more comfortable with the MRI process. So although there are definitive answers to questions like, has LEGO gotten more expensive in recent years? Which, as we discussed, the answer is a mathematically provable no. To me, the deeper and maybe harder subjective question of, is LEGO worth it? Has to be yes. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into LEGO pricing. I have got so much more fun LEGO content coming up for you guys in the future, so please make sure you have followed and subscribed to the channel. We'll keep going with live streams of builds, reveals of brand new unreleased sets, and more great LEGO content. See you next time, and happy building.